Recently, Donald Trump has been in the news for various reasons, from his political views and controversial remarks to his ongoing public actions. Among the most discussed topics, however, is his series of marriages. Trump has tied the knot not once but 3 times, with his latest wife being former First Lady Melania Trump. Unlike his previous marriages, it appears that he and Melania have managed to maintain a strong relationship after almost 2 decades together. While many are curious about the secret behind their lasting union, others are wondering how Melania feels about Donald's ex-wives. At 54, she's finally opened up about her views on the women who came before her, and her comments are rather surprising. Donald's first marriage, which began in 1977, was to Ivana Trump, a model and former ski instructor. At the time, Donald wasn't yet the globally recognized figure he is today, but he had enough wealth to make an impression. Ivana had been living in Montreal when she met him, and they crossed paths in New York while she was there for a modeling gig. Donald was immediately taken with her and went to great lengths to win her over, even securing the most expensive table at the restaurant where she was dining. Despite initially being uninterested in a serious relationship, Ivana was charmed by Donald's persistence and eventually agreed to date him. Their whirlwind romance led to an engagement, and just months later, they were married in a ceremony at Marble Collegiate Church in New York City. Ivana became deeply involved in Donald's business ventures, contributing significantly to the growth of the Trump empire. She worked on major projects, including the renovation of the Commodore Hotel into the Grand Hyatt and the construction of Trump Tower. However, despite their success in both business and personal life, their marriage ended after 12 years. In 1989, Ivana discovered that Donald was having an affair with another model, Marla Maples. This revelation occurred during a family trip to Aspen, where Ivana had an unsettling encounter with Marla. Ivana's shock turned to realization when Marla openly declared her love for Donald, an encounter that was made even more public by the media. Although Ivana tried to remain composed, it was clear that the marriage was beyond repair. In March 1990, Ivana Trump officially filed for divorce, and a few months later, she stepped down from the Trump Organization. The divorce was a complicated and messy process, dragging on for about 2 years. Ivana had signed a prenuptial agreement that limited her settlement to $25 million, but her lawyer argued that this was unfair and even fraudulent, hoping to secure a larger amount based on her contributions to the Trump empire. Given the public and contentious nature of the divorce, many expected tension between the two. However, surprisingly, after everything settled, they managed to co-parent amicably and even remained friends. In fact, Ivana attended Donald's presidential inauguration in 2017, proving their relationship was still strong. Former White House aide Omarosa Manigault Newman revealed that Donald often sought Ivana's advice during his presidency. Unfortunately, Ivana passed away on July 14, 2022, at the age of 73. Donald spoke highly of her, describing her as a wonderful, beautiful, and inspiring woman. It's a bittersweet reflection, especially considering Donald's affair while they were still legally married. As for Donald's second wife, Marla Maples, you'd think that after his split from Ivana, Donald would have given her some space, particularly because she played a role in their breakup. But instead, their relationship blossomed even further, reaching new heights despite the media storms surrounding his family and the dramatic divorce. Donald continued seeing Marla, and shortly after the divorce was finalized, they announced that Marla was pregnant with their daughter Tiffany, born in 1993. Just months later, they married, although their marriage was short-lived, ending 3 years later. Donald and Marla first met in 1985 while Donald was still married to Ivana. What began as a friendly relationship eventually turned into a secret romance. By the summer of 1989, they could no longer keep it a secret, and their relationship became more public. Marla was frequently seen with Donald, and at one point, she moved onto his yacht, the Trump Princess. Marla knew Donald was married, but instead of stepping away, she felt she loved him too much to let go. She later admitted she never saw herself as just a mistress. According to Marla, she prayed for divine guidance throughout her relationship with Donald, asking for a relationship that had the potential for success. It seemed her prayers were answered when they eventually married. Marla wished their relationship had started after Donald's divorce, but she believed everything unfolded in a way that led them to marriage. Their affair, once just a rumor, became headline news after an infamous confrontation between Marla and Ivana in Aspen in 1989. Reports indicated that Donald had flown Marla out to Aspen, where his entire family was vacationing. Marla's version of the incident differed from Ivana's. While Marla and Donald were at lunch, Ivana and Donald had a heated argument, which then turned toward Marla. Ivana reportedly called Marla out, accusing her of being the woman who had been involved with her husband for years. Eyewitnesses said Ivana declared her love for Donald and told Marla to stay away from him and their family, but Marla didn't heed the advice. Less than a year later, Marla defended her relationship, claiming that Donald had confided in her about his unhappiness in his marriage. She said Ivana had often urged him to work on the marriage, but it was clear their union was beyond repair. Donald and Marla's divorce sparked another media frenzy, with Marla spending months avoiding photographers. Despite her efforts, she couldn't escape the tabloids, even landing a controversial quote on the cover of the New York Post, which she later denied ever making about her intimate life with Donald. In the years following their rocky relationship, Donald and Marla had an on-and-off relationship. However, everything changed in 1993 when Marla became pregnant with their first child, Tiffany. Marla described Tiffany's birth as the greatest unplanned surprise, which led Donald, who had vowed never to marry again after his split from Ivana, to marry Marla on December 20, 1993. They exchanged vows in an extravagant ceremony at the Grand. Despite Marla's desire for a small wedding, the event at the ballroom of the Plaza Hotel attracted nearly 1,000 guests, including notable figures like Howard Stern, Rosie O'Donnell, and O.J. Simpson. Marla wore a breathtaking Carolina Herrera gown and a $2 million Harry Winston tiara, making it a memorable spectacle. Unfortunately, their marriage ended just 3 years later, in May 1997, when they separated. Marla cited differences in their worldviews and parenting styles as key factors in their split. She admitted feeling uncomfortable with the extravagant lifestyle, likening her role as a wealthy wife to acting a part rather than living authentically. Following their separation, Donald and Marla spent the next 2 years embroiled in a contentious divorce. Although Marla had signed a prenuptial agreement, she claimed she hadn't been given enough time to review the terms. After fighting in court to contest the agreement, she ultimately chose to walk away from the lengthy legal battle to avoid further emotional and physical distress. In an interesting twist, more than 2 decades later, a copy of their prenup was leaked. It revealed that because their marriage lasted less than 5 years, Marla was entitled to just $1 million, plus an additional $1 million for purchasing a home. After the divorce, she faced financial difficulties and had to auction off her engagement ring and other belongings to make ends meet. Marla often found it amusing when people assumed she walked away with a fortune. In reality, she left with just a couple of $1 million and her dignity. Despite the chaotic end to their marriage, Donald and Marla managed to maintain a friendly rapport. They even reunited for an appearance on Oprah Winfrey's Where Are They Now? In 2003, where Marla expressed that she still had affection for Donald and his children, Eric, Ivanka, and Donald Jr. In a surprising turn of events, they spent Easter together in April 2003. Meanwhile, Donald was expanding his social circle, meeting new people, including his future wife, Melania Trump. After the breakdown of his previous relationships, Donald found himself developing a bond with Melania, which eventually blossomed into a romantic relationship that lasted several years before they married in 2005. Their son, Baron, was born the following year. Since then, Melania has been by Donald's side through his legal battles, his run for office, his time in the White House, and various court cases. Their meeting is of great curiosity to many. Despite their age difference, they first crossed paths in 1998 at a gathering in New York City. At that time, Donald attempted to get Melania's phone number, but she declined, mainly because he was involved with another woman. Undeterred, Donald was confident he could change her mind. Their initial encounter didn't mark the end of their connection, however. They rekindled their relationship due to their shared love of music, particularly artists like Elvis Presley and Elton John. Melania recalled how Donald would play loud music in their home and invite her to dance, which helped strengthen their bond. They also shared a passion for movies, which played a significant role in deepening their relationship. They enjoyed a wide variety of films, from classic plays to westerns, and Melania appreciated how Donald's diverse movie tastes mirrored her own. These common interests and experiences helped nurture a relationship that, despite challenges, lasted for many years. It was initially speculated that Melania ended things with Donald after seeing an ex-girlfriend leave his apartment, but the two soon reconnected. After their brief separation in 2000, Melania and Donald reconciled and rekindled their relationship. She has expressed admiration for Donald, noting that she finds him powerful and attractive. The New York Post reports that they briefly split up in 2000 but quickly reunited. Melania reiterated that she viewed Donald as strong and good-looking. As their relationship strengthened and circumstances became more favorable, Donald was ready to remarry her. He chose the romantic setting of the 2004 Met Gala to propose, and they tied the knot on January 22, 2005, at Bethesda by the Sea Episcopal Church in Palm Beach, Florida. The wedding, following Melania's acceptance, was attended by notable figures such as former President Bill Clinton, Barbara Walters, Governor Rudy Giuliani, and Regis Philbin. During the reception at Donald's Mar-a-Lago estate, Billy Joel performed, adding a memorable touch to the celebration. In late 2006, their son, Barron, was born, surprising Donald with how quickly they had their first child together, though he was thrilled. He shared that he had always dreamed of naming a child Barron and was delighted to finally do so. After Barron's birth, Melania mostly kept a low profile, focusing on raising their son away from the media spotlight. She also maintained her independence by pursuing her own business ventures while supporting Donald's endeavors, striking a balance between public life and family privacy. In 2015, Donald made the bold decision to run for president. Melania voiced her full support for his political aspirations, even though she preferred staying home to care for Barron. When Donald won the election in 2017, Melania became the First Lady born outside the U.S. since 1829. In her speech, she highlighted her intention to focus on initiatives that would benefit women, children, and various charitable causes. Although she and Barron initially stayed in New York City to allow him to finish school, they eventually moved to the White House. Despite the challenges surrounding Donald's administration, Melania maintained a relatively low profile. She remained graceful and composed, even as controversies, such as her past nude photos, resurfaced. The couple made a conscious effort to keep their relationship private. However, in 2018, the Trump marriage faced scrutiny when allegations of Donald's extramarital affair with adult film star Stormy Daniels emerged. Reports claimed he had paid Daniels $130,000 for her silence, putting Melania in a difficult position as she navigated the public's intense scrutiny of her marriage.